We'll be right back.
You stay in Utah. Isn't it easier to go to Paris or New York? Or?
Definitely. It's just a set of circumstances in my life. I'm here. I began in Las Vegas. But when I moved here, I don't really have the option right now of moving. It may be that very soon I'm in California.
That could be in the works. Well, I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk to several fashion designers who have made Utah their home and find out what the fashion business is like for them on Talk About.
From Broadcast House in Salt Lake City, Talk About with Shelley Osterloh.
Good morning. Welcome to Talk About today. I'm Shelley Osterloh. Another fashion designer living and working in Utah is Allison Goulard. Allison, you went to Paris for a while to study, the real fashion empire, isn't it?
Yes, I did.
And you came back. Why come back? Why didn't you stay there?
Financial reasons. Paris can be an expensive city to live in. We came back originally for my husband to go back to school in the States. And when we came back, it was a question of, well, what was there available for me to do in Salt Lake City? And there wasn't much, so we started our own company.
How long have you been at this?
3 years.
3 years. Pretty successful?
Yes, very.
You're pleased with the way it's going? Are you going to get bigger and bigger and bigger? Is this just a growing
certainly
phase?
hope so. That's up to the customer, of course. But we do hope to expand.
Janet Priest is also a designer. How long have you been at it, Janet?
3 years also.
3 years. And how's it going for you?
It's going really well. I do a little bit different kind of designing than these women do, so I move at a little slower pace. So.
Well, we have some of your fashions. Perhaps the models can come out and we can see some of Janet Priest's designs. Describe this or explain to us what you were thinking of when you put it down on paper and then in fabric.
Well, I think primarily right now I'm working in wool jersey, and when I design for women, I think of comfort primarily, because I myself can't stand to wear anything that I'm ready to rip off at the end of the day. So wool jersey works really well for me there, and I think it's a real good fashion statement right now. I think it moves really well, it's easy to care for, and it looks really good.
Now, I noticed there's kind of almost an elastic waistband in the back. That's pretty comfortable. And the gold buttons are certainly a focal point on that.
Most of the things I do are pull-on. I try to eliminate as many closures as possible and just make it easy for the woman to wear it.
All right, thank you. Perhaps our next model could come out. Is this also a wool jersey?
This is also a wool jersey. It's a little lighter weight than the other two pieces were. This is a good dress, I think, for almost any figure type and almost any woman. It's got a padded shoulder. The wrap around the waist can either go higher, like a kimono style, or down lower on the hip. I think you could wear this day into evening very easily.
Are those shoes your selection, too? Is that...
It's the look, yeah.
The look? Boy, those are the pointiest toes I think I've ever seen. Hold still for a second. Maybe we can get a good shot of those shoes.
I really love that 60s pointy toe look.
They are indeed very pointy, aren't they? And the high heels, too. Well, the dress is lovely.
Thank you.
Can we have the next model out?
This is an evening dress. Again, the top is a wool jersey. The bottom is a taffeta. And again, it's just real easy to wear. You can do a lot with it. You could sash the hip. It's worn off the shoulder.
To whom do you sell most of these designs?
Private clients, mostly. I like to design for a specific woman and, you know, get into her wardrobe and see what she needs.
What do you other designers think of some of these clothes? I mean, I'm not asking for a heavy critique session.
I think they're great.
Do you critique each other's things? I guess privately anyway you do it. What do you think?
Well, we do. They're all very, very different. I think they're wonderful.
I have never seen Janet's work before, and I'm quite pleasantly surprised. I would say I'm impressed.
Thank you.
How do you know if you've done something good? Janet, how can you tell? I mean, you just
just feels right, or it feels like a bomb and you throw it in the trash. I think you know halfway through if something's going to work or not.
And you design on paper first with a sketch?
A real rough sketch. Yeah, most of it's kind of three-dimensional in my head before I start.
Do you ever start out with a sketch and then get halfway through it when you're into the fabric and say, I was wrong about this?
Very rarely. Most of the time I know if it's going to work in the beginning stages.
Well, we've got lots more fashions to see. We're going to give a few seconds for our models to change, and we'll be back with more talk about in just a minute.
Jack, I'm in love with another man.
What about us?
Us?
Just leave her, Jack.
Do you think I should, Catherine?
Well, yes.
Who's she?
She's Catherine.
New MJB mochas, coffee and chocolate. The stuff daydreams are made of.
Oh, Catherine.
I'd like you to meet a talking bear who's a lot more fun than Teddy Ruxpin. Say hello, Bingo Bear.
Nice to meet you.
Bingo's different.
I couldn't agree more.
Doesn't play tapes like Teddy.
That's very interesting.
Bingo actually responds to your child so they can have a real conversation.
Oh, yeah? What else?
I think you're cute and cuddly.
I think I'm in love.
Me too. New Bingo Bear from Hasbro. The last word in talking bears.
Bingo!
Bring the holidays home with a gift of fashion from Fred Meyer. There are looks for the whole family on sale, like popcorn sweaters for her in soft pastels, satin wraps or junior looks in Western style. For him, save on Hampshire House dress shirts, belted dress slacks, or college sweatshirts for casual class. Shop for your kids and save on the entire selection of health techs and fleece activewear. Dress shoes for him, shoes for her with a silver trim. There are great gift ideas for you on sale now at Fred Meyer.
Shop this week's super specials at Associated Food Stores and save even more on your groceries. Blue Bonnet margarine makes holiday baking better. 2 1-pound packages now just 89 cents. Planters mixed nuts are the perfect holiday snack. 12-ounce size, regular or unsalted, now only $2.69 each. Buy now and save at your independently owned Weinigers, Thriftway, or Foodtown stores. They're members of Associated Food Stores, the largest wholesale food distributor in the Intermountain West.
Karen Cornea is one of the fashion designers living here in Utah. You have brought some of your fashions with you. Let's take a look at some of the things you've designed. You want to describe this or tell us a little bit about it, Karen?
Yes, I also have worked in wool jersey for about the last 3 fall seasons. I love the fabric. It moves well, it feels right, it's comfortable. This particular one has a little peplum, which is very stylish right now. I did it last season at ZCMI. This year the peplum is even more popular.
Lots of jewelry. That's popular right
I
now,
like
too, huh?
simple styles that are accessorized.
And what about this one?
This one is a rayon challis, more of a career dress. A lot of women are afraid of prints. I absolutely love them personally. The very, very wide belt at the waist is becoming extremely popular also this year.
And that's a subtle enough pattern that it can go a lot of places, too, it would seem. That's nice. Thank you. The next model?
This is a piece that I've done for holiday. This is at Great Garb in Park City. I've used I don't know if the television will show it very well. It's in multicolored lamaze with the black velvet. And the belt was provided by a store I work with called The Elitist.
Beautiful fabric. Is it hard to get that kind of fabric in Utah?
Thank you. Yes, it is. And then this one is looking forward. For my spring line, I've chosen to follow the Santa Fe look, a look that I feel is going to be very, very strong, a young, contemporary look.
And what typifies the Santa Fe look? So I'll know it when I
cowboy.
See it. Cowboy.
Fringe, studs, rhinestones, silver, very, very cowboy. Cowboy boots, the whole thing.
And is most of your spring line going to be like that?
Yes, I did more of a junior look. I change a lot. I am interested in marketing to larger department stores, but
like what? What kind of stores? Where would we find your things?
Well, in the larger stores, I've sold to both Nordstrom and ZCMI here in Utah. There's also a little chain of stores in Texas that I've sold to. basically, I've been working a little longer than the other girls, about 13 years. And so I've sort of been doing small pieces here and there at smaller boutiques, and reached a point last year where I really wanted to blossom and move ahead, and the big money is in the big stores.
And that's the direction you've gone. What is the name of your company?
The name of the
your
company,
label?
The label, one more expensive label says Karen on the diagonal. My less expensive line says KCD.
Just wondering if you do your own pattern making and sewing, to what extent, and then how you choose people to do that for you.
That's a live one. I do all of the designing, all of the pattern making, all of the grading from size to size, all of the cutting, because I have not found people who've been able to do it. I had a fabulous sample maker last year, Phyllis Kolovich, and she was meticulous, and the seamstresses, after testing about 50, I found 2 that were extremely good, or 3 or 4 that I could work with. They're meticulous, they're slow, and then I had the problem of dealing with the labor costs.
Sounds rough. You're nodding your head in agreement, Janet. You found the same thing to be
Yeah,
true?
I do all of my own pattern making, all of my own designing, and all of my own sewing. And for this exact same reason. It is incredibly difficult to find somebody who sees the same thing you do, or at least close enough to help you make that finished product. And it's just more of a frustration to do 2 people's jobs.
What about you, Allison?
Basically, I do all the designing, draping, pattern making. I have my husband, Mark, who does the cutting and handles the business, which is a great relief for me because I hate dealing on that end. We have 2 people working for us, Linda Staker and Colleen Rowan, and they are excellent seamstresses.
Is your spring line that much different than what you've been doing? Do you continue on with the same kind of design, and or do you change every time you get a whim or a season comes along?
I think you have your own style, and you stay with your style. And from there, you change a little bit, but you have basically your style.
Where did you start and go to school?
Where did I go to school? I went up to Utah State University.
And did you study fashion design there?
Yes. And then I went to Paris at La Chambre Syndicale de la Couture.
Which, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with. I mean, outside the fashion world, you know, all I do is shop. That's the extent of my fashion knowledge. Is that a design school?
Yes, it is. It's one that is done by the Union of Designers in Paris. And people like Yves Saint Laurent and Karl Lagerfeld went to this school.
It's the cream of the crop.
And did you learn everything? Was it wonderful there?
Oh, it was. I had good experience.
Yes, sir.
I like the clothing, but I notice your hairdo. Do you do your own stylist of your hair?
And do you like it?
They fit them.
Do you mean the models or ourselves? Does he mean the models?
The models or them?
Does he mean do we cut it?
Your style, your own style.
Our own personal hair?
I wash and shake.
I wash and scrunch.
We need to take a commercial break, but we'll be back with some more fashions. This is Talk About.
Grandpa Jones has inspired millions with his humor and traditional gospel sounds. Now you can have the best of Grandpa live from Hee Haw on this brand new LP, recorded live at the Opryland Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. Grandpa sings these songs with warmth and love, and you're sure to see many of your personal favorites on this list of selections.
Over yonder, singing in the heaven and a shouting, oh glory. Everybody singing and a shouting over yonder. Can't hardly wait till I get there.
And for a limited time only, Grandpa will include a free copy of the 1987 Hee Haw calendar, all for only $9.95. Order your album or cassette while supply lasts. Credit card buyers call 1-800-453-7200 or send check or money order to Grandpa, Post Office Box 140400, Nashville, Tennessee 37214.
I'm a big potato guy, so naturally I love the big potato taste of Idaho potatoes. Who doesn't? But until you dig into one, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between an Idaho potato and a potato from someplace else. That's why the Idaho people came up with this, the Grown in Idaho seal. It says you're getting the big potato taste of Idaho and nothing else. the Idaho potato seal, the Idaho potato. Clever people, these Idahoans.
Genuine Idaho potatoes are available at Safeway.
Dally's Christmas is packed with great gifts this year. Like shoes for Mom and Dad. He'll love these Freeman casual shoes in soft leather. For a limited time, just $49.99. She'll adore fashionable dress shoes from a selected group of famous brand names marked down. Now $24.99 to $39.99. And fall fashion boots, a select group, just $39.99 to $69.99. Dally's always has Christmas gifts in above-average sizes and styles for above-average people. Dally's.
Join us in the audience for Talk About. Call KSL 5678. Tapings are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. Call KSL 5678.
We also have a very special taping upcoming, one that you can bring the family to. On December 29th, Monday, we're going to do 2 special children's shows. You're more than welcome to come down with the family. Bring your kids. It should be very fun for them. Please, only the ones over about 4 years old. That's Monday, December 29th from 9 until 11. Some special kids shows. They're out of school for the holiday season. It should be a nice thing for you and your family to do for the holidays. KSL 5678 is the number to call. Right now we have some more fashions. These are from Allison Goulard. You enjoy working in leather and suede mostly, don't you, Allison?
Well, that's exactly what I do is leather and suede. This is a little day suit that I think a woman could wear to the office, and then in the evening, take the jacket off, undo the collar a little bit, put on some jewelry, and she's ready for the evening.
That is really lovely. It looks very rich, too. I would guess that it's fairly expensive?
Yes, our price points are high.
Leather and suede is expensive in general.
Yes, it is about, in the stores, I'd say right around $1,000.
It's beautiful. The next model?
Now then, this is what we call the coupole, and it's a sort of a dinner evening suit, or a little bit more of a day for lunch.
That is such an unusual sleeve on it. How did you get that idea or that design translated into leather? Was that hard?
Sometimes there are technical problems that arise, and it takes a little extra thinking about how you're going to make it stand up, and yet that if it gets smashed, it's not going to stay that way. I used a belting in the sleeve to keep the shape of it.
Looks lovely. Thank you. Next model?
Now
What
then,
is
this
this
is
fabric?
an evening. This is suede with gathered sleeves and rhinestone detail in the front.
Now, it seems an unusual combination to me to see the rhinestones and then the slits on the skirt. It's great fun. I like it, but it just seems unusual to me. Is that an uneven hem as well?
Yes, it does come down to a point in the back.
Thank you.
Now then, this is much more of a high stylized evening with a leather coupole and suede dress. Takes a certain kind of woman to wear something like this, of course.
What kind of woman?
Someone
Besides Ben, right.
Some women would feel self-conscious, wouldn't feel like they could wear something like that. It's a little bit too of a fashion statement. There are other women that's what they want to do. They want to have people look at them and be seen immediately. And
thank you. It's lovely. To whom do you mostly sell, Allison Goulard?
Well, we've got a whole list of stores. We sell all over the U.S. In New York, we sell to stores like Lina Lee in Trump Tower, and she's in Beverly Hills also. There's Charivari in New York, Le Grand Hotel Susie's out at Great Neck. We sell in Florida, Boca Raton, Miami, Coconut Grove, Texas, Dallas,
So
Houston.
some very fine fashion boutiques. Is it
yes.
difficult to get your clothes placed in some of those stores, or is it merely just showing up with your designs, and if they like them, they buy them?
We've been lucky in some ways that we show up, at least that's the way we started. We just showed up, and we ended up being able to get in with a few of our extraordinary pieces. That's what pulls us in, and then they buy some of the more commercial pieces. But we have had a certain amount of time, 3 years on the road, in order to be accepted in the stores, too.
Having looked at all the designs that the models have on, I think they're beautiful. But my question is to Janet. You mentioned that you design a different way than the other two ladies, and I have no background in this at all. Can you explain that to me?
Sure. I don't think my designing is different as far as my procedure, but as far as pattern making, draping, that kind of thing. But I work with specific clients. I do a line every season. I show that, but they're samples. And we can do anything along the lines, along my style for any woman. So I work with one-on-one clients.
So it's mostly custom design for a specific individual rather than placing in stores.
Yeah, I don't do retail. I don't market. The only thing I market, I have a lingerie line that I do market retail, but other than that, it's just to the client.
Is it difficult in Utah to get the kinds of fabrics that you need to do the work and designs you want?
It's challenging.
Allison?
Well, I get my leathers outside of the country.
Everything's shipped in. We need to take a commercial break, but we'll be right back.
The perfect gift for everyone on your list. An AT&T long-distance gift certificate. A people present.
It's a lovely cat, Tommy. Cow? Of course, cow.
A gift that speaks from the heart.
Don came down with a cold, and guess who got the job?
AT&T long-distance gift certificates. Get a cute and cuddly bear free when you buy 2 $25 gift packs at American Savings. AT&T, the right choice.
It's happening again. That unexplainable phenomenon that makes everything glow with the warmth of the holiday. It's the magic of the season that turns us all into little children again. Happy holidays to you from the florists of FTD.
See Huddard Floral, 230 East South Temple, or call 531-7900.
Hi, honey. Dance class?
Dance class.
Yoga?
Yoga.
Weight training?
Weight training.
Not all things that are good for you are hard on you. Look at V8. 2 glasses of V8 vegetable juice contain 90% of the vitamins A and C you need a day, and it tastes terrific.
Aerobics?
Aerobics.
V8. Things don't have to be hard on you to be good for you.
2 things happen this time of year. Every year. Kids return home from wherever they are, and moms prepare their favorite dishes and homemade desserts. Well, maybe there's some connection. Baking with C&H sugar.
Hey, Mom, you got anything to eat?
These are some of Janet Priest's designs. Janet, you do a lot of wedding designs, don't you?
Yes, I do. In fact, these are just samples. I had a show just recently, and these were samples I showed just to kind of see what I could do and things I've always wanted to do that no one ever asked for.
They are all very different. This one on our left here is very pretty. What fabric is this? Is this
a wool jersey? This one,
what a back.
Yeah. It looks kind of unusual from the front, but the back is quite unusual. This is just a short, kind of cocktail length bridal dress. And I think it would be good for someone who doesn't like a lot of frill but wants a feminine dress, perhaps is married in the afternoon, doesn't want a lot of hal-de-ra.
That's nice, thank you. And the one in the middle?
This is a more traditional gown. I do design the gown for the bride, so we sit down together and talk about it, and she shows me everything she'd like, and we get together, we do it. But this one is more along the lines of the things I do for most women. It's got imported lace with hand beading, and it's out of a satin.
And the third?
This is a crushed velvet.
Very unusual for a wedding dress.
Very unusual. And the headpiece is a little unusual also. I think it has a real winter look. At least I think it does. but it has a higher hemline in the front and drops to a kind of a chapel length train in the back.
Pretty. Thank you very much, models. I'm going to ask you a loaded question here to all three of you. Do you think that Utah women are very fashion savvy, or do you find that you end up selling most of your fashions elsewhere? I know you, Janet, primarily Utah people, but are we very fashion savvy here in Utah? Tell the truth. I mean, we've already heard the worst. Everybody else says that we're 2 years behind the times.
No, I think there's a certain percentage of women who are very fashion conscious in this city.
I think so, too.
Other than that, it's personality of the person.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think they're very up to date when they're fashion savvy.
There is a percentage that are some of the finest dressed women I've ever seen in the country. It's very New York as opposed to Las Vegas, where I began, which is very West Coast.
Do the men in your life influence your designs?
Absolutely not. He thinks I'm crazy.
And I know Allison's husband here. Mark, stand up for a second. What kind of influence do you think you have on your wife and her design?
To make some money, that's all. So sometimes you have to change few things.
You are the business sense.
What is it that? I don't know. No, there is no sense of business here. You start with a product and you try to sell it. That's all you have to do.
Would you agree with that, Allison? Is that the kind of influence he is?
He's been very supportive, very good with it. I had to talk him into getting unusual designs into our collection. Before, he wanted to spend more money on the commercial pieces. And I said, but these are stores.
Do you go to market weeks? Is this how you get your name before the public so that they can come ahead and buy your lines?
I do markets, the Dallas market and the Drake in New York. But also a lot of it's just knocking on the doors. Nobody's going to come see you if they don't know who you are, or unless they have done really well with your pieces in the past and they want to buy again. You've got to go see them.
Very briefly, what do your clothes range from price-wise? Janet, Priest?
My day wear, they're all around 100 to 150, and evening wear, 200 on up. Bridal varies.
Allison Goulard, what's your price range?
In the stores? Anywhere
Retail.
from about 400 to 2,500.
And yours, Karen Cornea?
125 to 250, 300.
Thank you very much for sharing all of your designs with you, and good luck. Good luck to you.
Thank
If
you.
you'd like to come and be part of our Talk About audience, remember the number to call is KSL 5678. Thanks for joining us this morning, and do it again for next Talk About. Good morning.